With that, I would like to introduce Nicola Marini Bianzino of Ernst & Young to introduce the first award winner of the night in the category of Game Changer / Life Changer. The animating spirit of this award is, you and your company changed how things are done or viewed, and there's no going back.
Thank you, Rich. Good evening. I always had this dream of having to open the envelope, but I guess you already know who the winner is. But anyway, it will be the next time. So I'm very honored to be here. It's the first time, I just joined the Churchill Club as a board members, but I've been in the audience for, I think, most of the 8 years, before this. And what I want to just a comment that I had is that, we are all very busy in our lives and we run from one meeting to the other, but these nights are a little bit special because I think they create kind of I would call it like a mindfulness moment where we can pause, look around and get in touch with technology and innovation we don't see every day, right? And I think this is specifically the case for Peloton because it brings together two things that are passion of mine, which is one is sport and the other one is technology. So I just want to introduce Graham Stanton, is recipient of the Game Changer Award on behalf of Peloton, right? Peloton, for the few people I'm sure that don't know about them, it's a connected platform, right, for fitness, where you can really have, a very meaningful interaction with your personal trainer and sessions and class without actually leaving your house. So it's a combination of finding the right training and technology through technology, right, which is absolutely fantastic. So let me welcome Graham on stage and congratulations for the award. And also let me introduce Ray Wong, who's the founder and principal researcher of Constellation Research.
Very cool. That's it.
There you go. Yes, we're right here in front.
Sorry.
I think that's yours.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit. Cool. All right. Let's jump in. Let's see it.
All right.
Oh, cool. Well, good evening, everybody. How you guys doing? So, who here in the audience has a Peloton? Raise your hands. All right. Who here in the audience wants a Peloton? There we go. Awesome. Well, this is really cool. Look, we've been following the company for quite some time, understanding how it works. You guys started when nobody was wanting to help you out, when nobody was like, people were like, what is this idea? Where are we headed? What are we doing? And you're one of 5 founders. Tell us about the founders and how they're all a little bit different, how they're the same, and why you're all committed to that same level of passion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are 5 of us, and we're more different than the same, even if we're all about the same height. And it was John Foley's idea initially. He's our CEO, and he roped the rest of us into it. 4 of us. John Tom Cortese, our COO and product visionary, and Hisao Kushi, our chief legal officer, and I had all worked together in the past at IAC. And Yoni Feng, our CTO, was a very strongly attested referral from someone else we worked with. I think at least a few of us had this vague sense that we wanted to work together again someday in some hypothetical future. In the years pre-Peloton, we'd gone our separate ways a little bit. I actually first heard the idea from John when we bumped into each other at an e-commerce conference. It was an event for e-commerce leaders, and at the time when no one really wanted to talk about anything other than how do we survive in an Amazon-dominated world, and John was the celebrity invited guest as head of e-commerce for Barnes & Noble. It made sense that, of course, everyone wanted to know what it was like being on the front lines, and we were catching up. And he talked about that a little bit. And then after a while, he said, but you know what I'm really excited about? I got this new idea. And that took me aback a little bit. I thought maybe it'd spring something on me. And they said, okay, well, picture like a studio bike, and there's a screen on it, and you look through the screen and you're taking a class. And you know, John had been a tech executive for a while, and this is not what I was expecting, but I loved it. I'd actually just started taking indoor cycling classes myself, and yeah, when I thought about it some more, it made sense. John and his wife Jill had really gotten into it, and that's kind of all they would talk about. But I didn't get how special it was initially. I think it really had to grow over time, and I think that was the same for all of us. Tom came on board a couple months after he finished his Ironman, and he was ready to do something that maybe connected something there. And you know, beyond being a product visionary, he's also the scrappiest person I know, and he opened the very first office. And his house helped start the company, and Yoni came on to be the tech lead. And you know, my involvement right at the beginning actually was I was one of the seed investors John reached out to. I think I was one of 2 or 3 people on the list for whom that small seed investment was a lot of money, and you know, we really felt it. But you know, I knew John was a force of nature, and I liked the idea, and this seemed like a good bet. And so when he asked me to come on board full time, I didn't hesitate. I said, yes, of course I'll move across the country and work for no money. This is a no-brainer. This idea is going to work. You know, we're going to raise lots of money, and then it's going to be well-funded, and it'll work. And of course, I didn't foresee that we'd actually raise $0 from VC, and we'd almost run out of money many times, and it would be really hard. But at the time, it seemed like a sure thing.
This was 2012, right?
Yeah, this was mid-2012.
Mid-2012. Wow. Now, a lot of people describe you a lot of different things. I've heard media company, tech company, sports company, retail logistics. There's a lot of intersectionality here. So kind of explain what, in your world, what is the company, and where's it headed?
Yeah, it's a lot. And we didn't initially set out that way, but it started to come together like that very quickly. And it's really because initially we wanted to create an experience. You know, we knew these boutique fitness classes and kind of dark rooms with loud music worked really well. We enjoyed them. But there's something special about that experience that to recreate that in the home took lots of different pieces. So just one by one, you know, we ruled out using a third-party bike. As we said that, well, all the bikes that existed at that point were really designed for sweaty gyms, and people wouldn't want it in their living room. I said, well, we need this to be an immersive experience, so you can't. Yeah, we were nervous about just putting your phone or a tablet on there, especially at the time. We needed something sweat-proof, and we wanted a big screen.
Those big screens didn't exist at that point in time.
They didn't. In fact, when we started calling suppliers, they thought we were crazy, saying we wanted a projective capacitive 21-inch screen. Thankfully, we found a couple people who were just starting to make them, but the applications weren't out there. So we just kind of had to create everything from scratch that way, and it got to the point where, as we were doing it, we had to make a decision on the content. Like, where do these classes come from? And we always thought, well, maybe we'd partner with one big studio, or maybe buy a small one, or and we realized that if people were taking these classes around the world, we needed the best instructors on the planet all in one place. And so that meant that we were opening an indoor cycling studio. And as I say all this, I'm starting to understand why all those VCs turned us down. But
this is the one in Chelsea, right? The studio that you guys have there?
Yeah, but initially it was in the back of our office, and Tom went to Kmart and bought all black sheets, and he had to say that, no, it's not for my bachelor pad. Like, we're actually using these for something, and we kind of rigged it up. But yeah, we knew we had to open a real studio with cameras and streaming technology, which of course we also had to build, and it was a lot.
So the technology is not there. The manufacturing capacity is not there. The content's not there. Like, when did you decide Peloton was a game changer?
It took some time to really realize that, the question comes up, is Peloton, a game changer? Has it actually changed, things for the world or for a large number of people? From the beginning, I know it would be a game changer for me personally, because I love the product. I love the product so much. I bought one on Kickstarter with my own money. Right back to the company had no money, so we didn't give out freebies to anybody, including the founders. And so, like, I loved it. Like, our friends loved it. It started to build up, and we said, okay, well, there are people out there who like this experience. It's a great experience, but it didn't start to click until this online community formed. And it got to the point where people actually traveled to New York City to take classes at the studio, but not just to take classes at the studio, but to meet each other. People they met through Peloton, and they did what they called home writer invasion, and they invaded our office. And that's grown into the homecoming event we did this last year, where over 3,000 people came to New York to see their instructors and also to see each other.
I mean, Vande, Robin, Jen, Nicole, these are all household names in the Peloton world. So it's been pretty crazy to watch that community light up. So now your role right now, you've had different roles in the company. You were doing analytics before, and now you're doing what space in this space?
My role is business intelligence, and that grew out of the performance marketing team. Our initial marketing was I was sitting in the Facebook console, creating the ads myself and measuring everything. But our whole approach there kind of traces back to I saying that we were running out of money. And that kept us really disciplined. That meant that everything we did had to work. And the failure was not an option. Inaction wasn't an option. We actually had to sell some bikes. We believed in the product. We believed we just had to get it out there. So we were very data driven about it. All our advertising right from the start, which actually gave us the confidence to start doing TV ads and run really brand-driven pieces or seemingly brand-driven advertisements early in our history, and actually in our first year of sales, because we had the data side to actually measure it and show that it would work and know that we're getting bang for the buck. And that was the origin of that.
So the data and the community and the technology all started coming together. That community piece is probably the strongest element of what you guys have. So talk more about the community. Like, how crazy are folks? How much are they fans? How much are they advocates?
Oh, people are fans. We have tattoos. Our instructors have become celebrities. It was kind of what we hoped for there, but we never took it for granted, and we viewed it as an honor that people viewed that would take Peloton to be such an important part of their lives, and we actually we kind of shifted the company. We made it very clear that our number one value when we come into work every day is members first. And it seems kind of trite and silly to say, but we have it in our indoctrination when people come and then they're onboarded as new employees. People are encouraged, and they do go to showrooms, meet prospective members, existing members, shadow support calls, even go for ride-alongs with our field ops delivery teams, just to see what that's all about. And because I think the real privilege we have in coming to work is that when Peloton does right by its members, Peloton does well. And many of us have had jobs in the past where the success of the customer and the success of the business were not necessarily at odds, but independent. And it's really nice when it's 100% aligned.
That's the kind of leadership we're looking for right now. I mean, companies are looking to people and citizens and customers are looking for that kind of leadership, where the customer comes first, people are responsible for their customers and the type of product. So that's very impressive. Let's give them a round of applause, because we're missing that. So when you look back, I mean, that's a long 7 years, right? In a startup, like what are you going to remember most about Peloton? Not that you're leaving, not that you're going anywhere, just to take this moment in time to reflect on that journey.
Yeah. Well, when I look back today, I remember how much harder everything was than we thought it was going to be, every single step of the way, and that we persevered and made it through, and that it was all worth it. I don't just mean today. I mean, it was, every milestone was its own reward, but we had to solve our own problems, and so that at this point, I'd really love. I feel this like strong urge to go out and speak to new founders and say and give all sorts of advice. But one thing we learned was to take all advice with a grain of salt, and we realized even the well-meaning advice just didn't apply to us, and we had to solve it ourselves.
Wow, that's very, very powerful. So okay. Quick lightning round. Let's a little fun with this. All right, favorite instructors. You got a lot out there. You got some of the audience. Audience, what are your favorite instructors? Yell out.
Yeah, Ali is great. They're all great, and I really mean that, just because I do take a lot of classes, and I take all of them.
All right, best workout class.
I like the ones that are really intense. So I like mostly because I like that they're kind of over with more quickly. So I like the interval classes, and that they feel longer, but I get into it. But actually, recently, my favorite has been our outdoor running classes, audio only, through Peloton Digital. They take me into work. It's my morning commute. I run into work. It's one of the advantages of living in New York City, and I've been enjoying them. Wow,
livable cities. So actually, related to that, favorite time to work out, and I'll ask you something we talked about earlier.
Definitely morning. That's what works out for me.
Okay, but you actually showed up to the hotel and did your own workout today. You said so, a few hours ago.
I did. It was kind of like a re-wake up upon landing in the plane and getting ready for the evening. But yeah, I got on one of the bikes here, used Peloton Digital, and it all worked.
All right, favorite flavored ice cream.
If there's a really, really good vanilla, I'll go for that. Otherwise, I usually go for pistachio if it's available.
All right. Well, we're here with, thank you so much for being here, Graham. And please give me a round of applause for being a game changer in life. So,
thank you, Ray.
Congratulations.